There's something about the Florida Keys that's mesmerizing. Maybe it's the smell of the mangroves at low tide. Maybe it's the taste of the rum. Or the way the clear water magnifies the beauty of the ocean floor.
It's just amazing water and clarity and fish life.
It's why people have come here for generations to escape.
They came to America looking for a better life, and they found it here.
A rich history for 2 centuries.
There is our flag. It has a conch on it.
Sometimes stranger than fiction.
Just trying to have me some fun.
This is where some say they find their true selves.
You have artists that come here, you have writers that come here.
And why so many don't want to leave this island paradise.
It's home. There's nothing like coming over that bridge, being surrounded by the ocean.
It's still this wonderful small town.
I'm very inspired by the colors.
And you know it when you feel it.
Florida Keys at 200, celebrating paradise. Brought to you by Baptist Health. Discover the warmer side of care at baptisthealth.net.
Hello, everyone. I'm Janine Stanwood. The Florida Keys mean something different to everyone. They're beautiful. They're fascinating. For some, they are home. But if you've never been here, chances are you've heard of the magic spanning more than 100 miles. So how did we get here? First, let's take you back in time.
We're celebrating 200 years, but there were people here long, long before.
A pristine world unto itself, where Spanish explorers would eye opportunity from afar on their trade routes. By the 1800s, the Florida Keys saw the arrival of Americans from the mainland and people from the Bahamas, making these unique islands a place of refuge, as Monroe County, named after President James Monroe, was officially established in 1823.
There wasn't anything here, really. There was a beautiful harbor, and there was an island that had some water that they could drink. It was a pretty hard-scrabble existence to start carving out a community.
At that time, the Bahamas was still a strong British rule, and they came to America looking for a better life, and they found it here.
One way to make a living was fishing. Another was wrecking, salvaging shipwrecks and rescuing crew who often crashed on the unforgiving reef that runs along the Keys.
In the very early days of the Keys, that was the big economic engine down here, and people made fortunes.
But riches brought problems.
The biggest problem at the time was piracy.
Pirates in the Caribbean and off Cuba, stalking the waterways, stealing cargo, sometimes murdering crew.
They would prey on all of these ships that were sailing by here. It's the wild west of the ocean down here.
That's when the U.S. Navy and its anti-piracy squadron set up a base here, and it worked.
They consistently went out and took on these pirates until they had basically defeated them.
Surprisingly, on these limestone rock islands, farming was also a source of income. From prolific pineapple farms in Islamorada and Key Largo to vegetable plots in Key West, farmed by a man once enslaved named Sandy Cornish, who almost never made it to the Keys when historians believe slave traders tried to recapture him in the Panhandle.
He went into the town square there and publicly maimed himself, chopped his fingers off with an axe, stabbed himself in the hip.
He had mutilated his own body to keep from being sold back into slavery.
Cornish soon became one of the most successful farmers here. When slavery ended, the Florida Keys became a hub of black leadership. Some of the first, black politicians were right here in the Keys.
Yes. When I first ran for this office, I was under the impression that I was going to be the 4th black city commissioner.
And what did you find out?
I found out I'm like number 16 or 17. These were elected like 2 years after the abolition of slavery. What that says to me is that there's hope.
The Keys were a place of hope for Cubans as well.
In the late 1860s, we start seeing first, dozens and hundreds and thousands of Cuban people coming here to Key West and starting lives anew.
Many became cigar makers.
And that became the next great source of financial wealth here. And you get this really unique combination of American culture, Bahamian culture, Cuban culture, all coming together in this, these little islands, creating something unique.
By the early 1900s, a construction project that would change everything, the Flagler Railroad.
My grandfather worked on the railroad.
Many workers staying for long stretches at Pigeon Key off Marathon, constructing one of the great feats of engineering.
Now, all these islands are connected, not only with the mainland, but with each other.
But the Labor Day hurricane of 1935 nearly wiped Tavernier and Islamorada off the map. It devastated families and essentially ended the railroad.
But what did they do? Like a phoenix from the ashes, the railroad then became the roadbed for the overseas highway.
The overseas highway and government intervention brought in more tourists, artists, and people from all walks of life. When you were first elected mayor, what was it like here?
Very laid back, very quiet.
Dennis Wardlow was the mayor of Key West 3 times starting in the 1970s and remembers when that laid-back vibe started to change.
When the Navy pulled out, it kind of really hurt us economic-wise.
Filling that vacuum, drugs.
They'll have bales floating up different areas.
And these, we're talking about bales of marijuana.
Yes, square grouper.
And a lot of people who wouldn't ordinarily gotten caught up in that did get caught up in it.
Because it was a fast buck.
My friend had a Beavis Lewis Chevrolet Cadillac. He sold more Cadillacs for cash than any other dealer in the nation per capita because there was so much of it here.
In the spring of 1982, Wardlow starts getting phone calls about an unusually long traffic jam. The federal government, cracking down on drug running, placed a U.S. Border Patrol checkpoint by the Last Chance Saloon in Florida City. Agents searching every car leaving the Keys for anything illicit.
The problem was they couldn't get out of the Keys. It was a 23-mile traffic jam.
He calls the head of Border Patrol.
He said it was none of your business. I said, well, I got to make it my business because you're killing our economy. And he hung up on me.
Wardlow takes his fight to federal court in Miami, but loses.
And I said, tomorrow at noon, we are going to secede and raise our flag and become the Conch Republic. If you're going to treat us as a foreign country, we will become a foreign country.
So when you said those words, did you have any idea what that was going to spark?
No.
It was noon the next day. Spectators and media from all over gathered right here in front of Mallory Square to witness the formal secession of the Conch Republic from the United States.
There is our flag. It has a conch on it.
They raise the Conch Republic flag, conch fritters and balloons start falling in a so-called attack.
And I'm like, we immediately surrender, ask for $1 billion in foreign aid, and everybody went crazy.
It was all tongue-in-cheek, but it did work.
Here we are 45 years later. I haven't been tarred and feathered.
Coming up, the captivating coastline.
People here not quite the same as Floridians.
That lures the eccentric.
So this is the shoe.
The iconic.
Ahoy, mate!
How are you?
And the famous. Plus,
it really, truly is unique and deserves to be protected.
The challenges ahead when Florida Keys at 200, Celebrating Paradise, returns.
Summer memories and Mickey D's go together like family and fun and fries and refreshments. Soak up even more memories by saving time and ordering ahead in the app. Order in the app and get 25% off. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Lease an Elantra for $219 a month or get $500 bonus cash or 3.29% APR. Now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Health Focus from Baptist Health. Is back pain holding you back? At Baptist Health, our team of board-certified spinal neurosurgeons offers the most comprehensive and innovative techniques to diagnose and treat chronic pain and spinal conditions. With access to cutting-edge technology, we embrace a multidisciplinary approach, from non-surgical treatments and minimally invasive procedures to complex spine surgery. Let us help you say goodbye to chronic pain and get back to doing what you love.
For more information, visit baptisthealth.net/neuroscience.
Things are more expensive now for my wife and I, so we have decided that we would make changes in terms of our expenditures.
I live downstairs with one thermostat. She lives upstairs with two thermostats, but they all cost one price.
I appreciate that at FPL, they are always teaching me how power works and how you can save money.
You can look at your bills based on cooling, heating, break it down to the dollar value.
My wife and I have been able to see a change in our expenditure on energy.
I can actually have ownership and knowledge over my power bill.
Experience the sanctuary of hands-free highway driving with Lincoln Blue Cruise. The Lincoln Summer Invitation, on now. Right now, get 3.9% APR and $1,000 trade assist cash on a new 2023 Lincoln.
Summer memories and Mickey D's go together like family and fun and fries and refreshments. Soak up even more memories by saving time and ordering ahead in the app. Order in the app and get 25% off. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
A night out on the famed Duval Street in Key West. It doesn't take long to understand the seduction. Like the sound of a guitar cutting through thick, salty air. We're at the Green Parrot, a thirst-quenching drink. A colorful new friend, where your late night can easily turn into an early morning. Simply put, the Keys are a vibe.
Definitely different. People here, not quite the same as Floridians.
And where facts and fables get a little fuzzy. Like the origins of its most famous dessert, the key lime pie. That's delicious. The endearing quirks and only in the Keys lore are everywhere. Bars wallpapered with dollar bills, even bras. Stay bold into Key West history. Like this channel lined with toilet seats. Or this tree growing in a crack of the 7 Mile Bridge named Fred by anonymous locals who decorate him in the cover of darkness.
The old bridge doesn't connect. How do you get to Fred?
With a lot of ingenuity and a little bit of fairy dust.
There's also the intriguing history of rum running here during Prohibition, where most saloons had secret back rooms.
Rum is the history here. The rum came from Cuba. They get it to Key West by boat, by ferry.
To really understand it all, I talked to my friend Ted. Hey, Ted.
Hey, Janine, how are you?
A longtime fishing guide and reporter in the Keys. We meet up, most appropriately, at a rum bar. Cheers.
I can't tell you how many times I've asked people, how'd you end up here? Well, I came on vacation once, and I never left.
The Keys are so full of so much fantasy and mystery and lore. How do you sort that out?
If I go someplace else, I might have to work to find stories.
What is it about the Florida Keys that draws so many interesting, diverse people, and especially to Key West, to this one small place?
You know, Key West has been home to a number of literary greats.
Greats like Tennessee Williams, believed to have penned the final draft of A Streetcar Named Desire at La Concha Hotel, or Ernest Hemingway.
So this is where the magic happens.
Absolutely. This is his writing studio.
The writer leaving his imprint on the Keys.
While his short time here, he wrote about 70% of his life's work.
And another legacy.
Here at the Hemingway house, there are dozens of these six-toed cats. Take a look at that. They are all believed to be descendants of Ernest Hemingway's first cat that was actually given to him as a gift of good luck.
Then there's counterculture icon and journalist Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter Thompson used to run what they call gonzo tours down here.
I remember one morning, Hunter comes dashing in my door, you know, and said, Jack, Jack, Jack. I said, what's the matter? He says, my boat tried to kill me. I said, what? This is a picture of my grandfather.
Jack Spotswood is a fifth-generation conch whose family history is intertwined with Florida Keys history.
We couldn't laugh, we would all go insane.
For example, he was Jimmy Buffett's landlord.
He rented an apartment right next door to me, and so that's where you see that on the A1A album.
Do you get a cut of any of his proceeds whenever he plays a song from that album?
No. I wish.
And family friends with President Harry Truman.
A picture of Harry Truman, my dad, and Leroy Collins, who was the governor of Florida.
In December of 1947, President Truman was dedicating the Everglades National Park, and the press were screaming out. And they said, "Are you going to come back to Florida?" He says, "Of course I'm coming back to Florida. I have a little White House down in Key West."
That's when my father first met him. He broadcast over WKWF. President Truman's daughter, Margaret, she had a debut of sorts in her singing career. He sat with the president in the little White House and listened to the president's daughter, and they became good friends. And President Truman used to walk up and down the street and wave to people.
He was very, very warmly received, and he put us on the map.
If a president can be at home in the Keys.
I started here as a janitor, and then the next year I was sitting in a shoe.
So can a drag queen. Gary Marion is also known as Sushi, ringing in each new year here by descending in a sparkly stiletto.
So this is the shoe.
This is the actual shoe, yeah. Why don't you try sitting in it?
I feel like I'm in a seat of power here.
I know, right? I knew of other places, but nothing like this. Once you get here and live here and you get to know the people on the island, and it's so accepting and amazing place, and you just feel like I can never leave this place.
Hi, JJ.
Ahoy, mate. How are you doing, Janine?
Then there's Jimmy Johnson.
He's a national championship coach.
A Hall of Fame coach and a regular Keys guy. Happy to help me dock.
Welcome to the Keys.
Awesome, I'd love to be here.
When I was hired at the University of Miami in '84, a friend of mine brought me down to the Keys, and I think I had a real good time. And I just fell in love with the place.
To eventually call this place home, what did that mean for you?
You know, I've been all over the country and been a lot of different places in my age, and here in the Keys, I can go anywhere. I'm just Jimmy Johnson, no big deal. It's such a relaxing place. One word would be paradise.
Still ahead.
I see something that inspires me to create.
The radiant beauty nurturing creative minds.
The tourism is what we need.
And the economy. Plus,
we have huge challenges.
The future of the Keys. When Florida Keys at 200 celebrating paradise comes back.
From snorkeling a hidden gem to bobbing around in the water, you don't want to miss this episode of SoFlo H2O.
That's right. Your favorite water show is back.
Y'all, this is absolutely incredible.
Taking you on an adventure under the sea, exploring a hidden reef, and putting one fan favorite toy to the test.
There's honestly so much to see.
Join Local 10's Olivia Ray on an all-new episode of SoFlo H2O. Tonight at 8:30 on Local 10.
Health Focus from Baptist Health.
Cerebrovascular diseases like a stroke or aneurysm can have devastating and permanent effects on your mind and body. But there is hope. Getting the right care as quickly as possible can make all the difference. At Baptist Health, we bring the latest and most advanced cerebrovascular treatment options to our facilities across the region. Don't wait. Choose Baptist Health.
For more information, visit baptisthealth.net/neuroscience.
The hours will be long. Ready to face the world. Florida Technical College.
Affordable design, endless possibilities. IKEA.
Lost Florida Medicaid? Healthcare.gov is here for you.
Where can we find a low-cost health plan?
What about a plan that covers doctor visits?
Emergency care? Prescriptions?
With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month.
What's the website again?
Healthcare.gov.
It's part of life here in the Florida Keys, finding those sandy bottoms. These people are hanging out right here at Ness Key. This is part of Everglades National Park. Check this out. I mean, this is pristine beauty.
If there's a heaven on earth, it might be here in the Florida Bay.
This mangrove-lined channel here in Key Largo, it's pretty magical. It leads us right out to Everglades National Park.
Or maybe nirvana can be reached here in the ocean, where there's a wonderland of fish and coral and beds of seagrass. It is quite literally a sanctuary.
It goes from offshore of Biscayne National Park all the way around the Florida Keys and out to the Tortugas, which are 70 miles west of Key West.
The water surrounding the entire island chain is protected by special federal rules put in place after the grounding of several vessels in the 1980s that ripped into pristine coral and damaged the ecosystem.
We needed to make sure nothing like that happened again.
This was not without controversy.
Yes, there was concern. The federal government coming in and establishing rules and telling people what they can and cannot do.
Despite some protests, the National Marine Sanctuary remains more than 3 decades later. The marine environment is directly connected to the economy here.
These lobster we catch end up all over the world.
People who fish and lobster, take tourists diving and snorkeling, rely on the water's beauty and bounty.
I take people out for sport fishing. It's important to have good, clean water here, and the tourism is what we need.
Some choose to make their home on the water, tucked away in marinas and moored to buoys.
Being around the water, and it's somewhat not as expensive as if you own a house or rent.
You can't beat the sunsets. It's really beautiful.
It's no surprise then that these sunsets, the creatures that live in the water, have been the source of inspiration.
May of 1980, I came on the Mariel boulder from Cuba.
Inspiration for artists up and down the Keys.
When I came to Mallory Square, it was sunset. So that's what I saw when I came in.
Which corner of this paradise is most naturally magical? Depends on who you ask.
This one was inspired very easily just by looking around.
The Keys just hold a special place in my heart. This one is one of my favorites.
Is that Alligator?
Alligator Reef Lighthouse.
So the colors were the most important things in my art. And then everything that had the color came next.
And that color was inspired by the Keys.
It was. I see something that inspires me to create. I want to create a color. The way the sun ripples off of the water. There's something there that triggers your inspiration all the time.
I don't think you can find this anywhere else.
Next, challenges ahead.
We've gotten bigger, more populated.
And what keeps people here.
No other place like it.
When we return.
From snorkeling a hidden gem to bobbing around in the water, you don't want to miss this episode of SoFlo H2O.
That's right. Your favorite water show is back.
Y'all, this is absolutely incredible.
Taking you on an adventure under the sea, exploring a hidden reef, and putting one fan favorite toy to the test.
There's honestly so much to see.
Join Local 10's Olivia Ray on an all-new episode of SoFlo H2O. Tonight at 8:30 on Local 10.
Our southern weather is unpredictable.
We know you've seen a thing or two.
Like heavy rainstorms, extreme heat,
and flying debris.
Your New South windows are custom built for your home.
That's why you need New South by your side.
Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Here in Florida, every name tells a story. Just saying Ian, Nicole, or Wilma brings about strong memories. But then there's Adam and Gary. Together, their teams helped rescue over 3,500 people. And Vicky, she used her food truck to feed the community.
Thank you so much, guys.
And Andy, he flew medical aid to devastated communities. But then there's Shane, Clyde, and Robert. Together they have more than 60 years of storm experience. They stand with an FPL team of thousands, ready to respond. So as the next storm approaches, just know we're prepared. Here in Florida, every name tells a story, and every name is important. Because together, we can weather any storm.
You need New South by your side. Enjoy comfort, safety, and security.
We install peace of mind with our lifetime guarantee. Superior windows, factory direct.
New South proud.
Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Hurricane Irma ripped through the Florida Keys in 2017. Hello? We were there after houses got crushed. Look at that. That's the rest of the house. Families clinging to what was left.
We have huge challenges, no doubt about it.
Storms have been a harsh reality here for centuries.
We also have increasing storm events, increasing intensity of those storms. We also have temperature stress.
What will the climate do?
Scientists worry about the health of the coral reef in warmer waters and the intersection of people and threatened wildlife, like endangered key deer and manatees and sea turtles injured by boats.
We've gotten bigger, more populated.
The boom in tourism is bringing in tax dollars, but straining utilities and squeezing out locals.
It's not really affordable. Hard to live down here.
And yet, despite the challenges, why do you stay?
We've had some tragic hurricanes, but we rebuild. It's worth it to live here.
What does that say to you about the Florida Keys?
It's resilient. It's paradise.
Paradise isn't just palm trees and libations, it's a way of life. Just ask anyone not just why they came, but why they stay.
I think it's the people more than anything else.
The history of it, it's just you feel it.
This is my community. These are my people.
Why stay?
Because it's amazing. I guess it gets in your blood once you're here.
No other place like it anywhere, really. There's just not.
200 years in paradise, the fabulous Florida Keys. Cheers!
This sense of hope, community, and resilience is part of the Florida Keys spirit. We've only shown you some of what this paradise has had to offer and endure over the last 200 years. I'm Janine Stanwood. Thank you for joining us.
Florida Keys at 200, celebrating paradise. Brought to you by Baptist Health. Discover the warmer side of care at baptisthealth.net.
The sun is setting on Toyota's national sales event. Wait, they have until September 5th.
Right now, get 2.9% APR for 36 months on a new 2023 Toyota Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
Experience excellence. Visit Las Olas Med Spa in the heart of Las Olas Boulevard. We can bring out your hidden beauty with medical weight loss, Botox, dermal fillers, specialized lasers, and other minimally invasive treatments. Our board-certified physicians can help you look and feel rejuvenated. Improve the appearance of your lips, cheeks, or chin with Juvederm. Special starting at $399 per syringe. Las Olas Med Spa by Top Aesthetics. Call 888-TOP-8288.
Health Focus from Baptist Health.
Chronic pain can feel like it's taking over your life, but it doesn't have to be that way. At Baptist Health, we offer the latest and most advanced treatment options to relieve pain and help you live your life to the fullest. Our team of experts works with you to develop a personalized plan tailored to your specific needs. Choose Baptist Health for a life with less pain and more freedom.
For more information, visit baptisthealth.net/neuroscience or call 786-596-3876.
The last of summer will draw you in at Toyota's national sales event. It's like a magnet, but for people.
Right now, lease a new 2023 Toyota Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
You know, you've got it pretty good. Streaming this much stuff was never this easy. Yes, let's go. Nice eye thingies.
They're collagen boosters.
Get internet on the Xfinity 10G network made for streaming for $30 a month for 12 months and add Now TV for $20. It's the best value in live TV and streaming.
You guys like this show too?
Yes, chef! Get way more into what you're into when you stream on the Xfinity 10G network.
Sports Sunday tonight at 11:30, only on Local 10.
Welcome to SoFlo H2O. I'm Olivia Ray. Now, by now you know SoFlo H2O is South Florida's #1 show showing you everything on, around, and in the water. So it was just a matter of time before we finally made it to the Florida Keys. And time is exactly why we're here today, because we are celebrating their 200th anniversary. We have all these dolphins right here! On July 3rd, 1823, Monroe County was established. And what now seems a little crazy is that 200 years ago, when Monroe County was established, it was only the 6th county in the Florida Territory and encompassed all of the southern tip of Florida. The county line was located just below Lake Okeechobee. So Monroe County was huge back then, but not very populated. Today, it's a very different story. The Keys are a world-famous destination for everything on the water. From fishing to scuba diving, the Keys welcome millions every year to their shores. So we thought we would start our celebration of the Keys 200 on the shores of the Upper Keys, right here in Tavernier. We started off the docks of the beautiful Coconut Palm Inn, mile marker 92 on the bay side, and just a short boat ride from our first adventure, snorkeling the beautiful reefs of the Keys. The Florida Keys are known for having the best snorkeling spots in South Florida. From their crystal clear waters to the endless marine life circling the reefs, the sights are guaranteed to be amazing. Luckily for us, we have some friends of the show who are showing us one of their secret spots. So of course, that had to be our first stop. We hopped on the boat and headed to meet the Browns. Charlie, Lucy, and little Charlie Brown know these waters like the back of their hands. They've had a place in Tavernier for years, so we are very grateful that they took us along for the ride today. All right, y'all, we are getting geared up. We are at one of our first spots today, and we are about to go snorkeling. Thankfully, we're with some family friends of the show, the Browns. They're gonna take us out in one of their secret spots. It's one of the mini reef patches here out in the Keys. So are y'all ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's get in the water. I was so excited to jump in. Obviously to snorkel the reef, but also to get out of the heat. We saw hundreds of fish, a giant reef, and both of the Brown boys diving down to explore more.
We have been snorkeling before, but this is a very different experience. There are so many fish below. The visibility is amazing, so we'll keep diving down and see what else we can find.
The depths in this particular reef range from 5 to 15 feet, which was a perfect starting point for me. I was able to free dive to the bottom and see firsthand some of the amazing little fish that Charlie was finding for us. Let me tell you, that kid knows exactly what he's doing and found everything from a Goliath grouper to a shark, a lobster, and so much more.
We are out here seeing a lot of beautiful things. We're seeing a grouper, we're seeing a nerve shark, a lot of different fish. There's honestly, it's so nice when it's clear to just be able to like explore and see all the wildlife and all the creatures underneath. All right, so we're a little bit into the snorkel. Obviously my mask is starting to fog up, so all you need to do is spit, clean it out, rinse it out with some water. You're good to go. Little tip for y'all.
After a good hour in the water, I think everyone else was ready to cool down. So Lucy Brown, our photographer and producer, put on some gear and came along.
My producer Emily decided to join us. Are you excited? I'm nervous. She's nervous. She's not a big ocean or fish person, but she's gonna be excited and we're gonna go explore together. So let's go.
I have to say, Emily was a little timid to the idea, but she really got the hang of it. I personally could have stayed in all day with how much there was to see. We ended up exploring for a couple of hours before it was time to go.
I have to say, snorkeling in these reefs is a completely different experience. It's beautiful and it's a lot of fun. You kind of start to lose track of time. I'm getting pretty hungry, so we are going to check out a famous waterside restaurant here in the Keys, the Lorelei.
As if the snorkeling wasn't enough, we had one more surprise in store for us as we headed out. Dolphins.
And we have all these dolphins right here. They're so cute. This is amazing. Look at all, oh my gosh, look at all.
I was like a giddy little girl and felt like we were riding the waves with them. And it wasn't just one. They kept popping out of the water in groups, which was such an amazing sight. I'm so glad I was able to check that off my bucket list on day one. And who knows, maybe we'll see more. Out here in the Keys, there are plenty of places to enjoy a fresh and delicious meal with a fantastic view. And after hours in the sun, the crew and I have decided it's time that we go grab a bite. We are heading to the pulse of Almirada, the Lorelei Restaurant and Cabana Bar. And y'all, I'm excited. They're known to have some of the best food here in the Keys. And the best part is, we can pull in straight on the boat. The food was delicious, and we could not have asked for better service.
That lunch was exactly what the crew and I needed, and as much as I would like to take a little bit of a nap, I think we need to go out and fish and try something new. If you're wanting to fish, you gotta have a good charter captain. That's where our friend Greg Pullen comes in, and you're whipping up something probably from this morning.
Yeah, yellowtail. We got it out on the reef line near Alligator Light. Been out that way before?
We went out for a little bit, but I haven't seen this yet.
All right, well, these are, we caught these on live baits out in about 90 feet of water. It was a good afternoon. The weather's still perfect if you want to go out and try.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, let's go. Let me get these cleaned up. We'll put them on ice, and then we'll see what we can find.
Sounds good.
All right.
Hey! We did it!
After talking to Greg a bit, we decided to head out and try to find some mangrove snapper. SoFlo H2O producer Emily and I grabbed our stuff, jumped on his boat, and we were ready to go. Now just look at these views. Honestly, there's really nothing else like the Florida Keys. All right, y'all. Greg said he has a little detour planned for us, and I think you're really gonna like it. Toilet Seat Cut. A channel right here in Almirada with quite a fun history. Can't say I've ever seen anything like this before.
So we were on our way out to go fishing, but we had to stop here at Toilet Seat Cut, which you told us about before, so...
World famous.
Greg, how did this come to be?
It's just a little Keys humor, you know, and many mango seasons ago, apparently during a hurricane, one of these homes over here, a toilet seat blew out of somewhere, you know, and there was a marker out here marking this cut through the islands, and apparently it just blew onto like a nail. So it was just hanging by a thread.
So you have one seat hanging, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, I'm going to drop my toilet seat here too.
You know, you see some from, down the way, here's one from LSU, and there's
one from OU, which I have to give a shout out because that's where I went to college. I was like, I'm seeing the Boomer Sooner.
Right.
There's everything. There's skeletons sitting on the toilet seats. We had to mark our territory a little bit, so we came out with our own toilet seat, obviously doing it H2O style, but
perfect.
So it was definitely the perfect, good little stop. But do we still have some time to go fishing?
We do.
All right, let's get out there.
All right, let's go.
So now that we've officially marked H2O territory, it's time to go fishing with Captain Greg Poland.
This is a pilchard. I don't know if you've ever seen. Yeah. So we're going to use a circle hook. All right. We're going to put him down, see if something will eat him.
Okay.
Look at that. Does he look good?
Yeah, he looks delicious.
Well, let's hope a snapper thinks so. So I want you to hold this, but if something happens, I don't want you to yank it. You're just going to reel.
There's no movement. Just let it sit.
No movement is good for these things.
We were definitely tested out there, and it took some patience. But with Greg's expertise and my first-timer's luck, we managed to hook a few.
Hey, I think you got a bite. You got it?
I feel something. I feel something. Wait.
Hey,
please,
I bet it's a mangrove snapper. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, we got it! You're kidding.
Catch and release. That's popular here in the Keys.
Now, it did take me 3 times because they wiggled themselves off the line, but it was definitely a successful day.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, you are gorgeous.
Stop right there.
Okay.
All right, you just grab him by the that little yellow jig. Here, hold him right by
yellow?
that. Yeah,
Okay,
then he doesn't
okay.
bite you. Cause look at those chompers he's got.
Oh,
Oh, perfect release.
catch and release.
There you go. Nice
Round
job.
2.
So you could definitely say that we mastered catch and release. And overall, it was a successful day, all thanks to Captain Greg Poland. We learned a lot and had a lot of fun doing it. If you're interested in taking your fun day on the water to the next level, head over to gregpoland.com for more information. And now we're off to catch the sunset views from our gorgeous spot by the beach, the beautiful Coconut Palm Inn. The day has been amazing. We've snorkeled at the Three Stooges Patch Reef, had lunch at the famous Lorelei, and fished with Captain Greg Poland. But we are not done yet. When we come back, we are going to show you a little history on how the Keys and the water are connected. And by connected, I mean bridges. Lots of them. And one particular bridge has miles of history when SoFlo H2O continues.
Summer memories and Mickey D's go together like family and fun and fries and refreshments. Soak up even more memories by saving time and ordering ahead in the app. Order in the app and get 25% off. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Things are more expensive now for my wife and I, so we have decided that we would make changes in terms of our expenditures.
I live downstairs with one thermostat. She lives upstairs with 2 thermostats, but they all cost one price.
I appreciate that at FPL, they are always teaching me how power works and how you can save money.
You can look at your bills based on cooling, heating, break it down to the dollar value.
My wife and I have been able to see a change in our expenditure on energy.
I can actually have ownership and knowledge over my power bill.
Summer memories and Mickey D's go together like family and fun and fries and refreshments. Soak up even more memories by saving time and ordering ahead in the app. Order in the app and get 25% off. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We are back with SoFlo H2O, and we're celebrating the Keys' 200th anniversary, which would not be possible without the rich history of the overseas highway and the men that built it. This small island unlocked the future of the Florida Keys. Welcome to Pigeon Key, a hidden gem in the heart of the Florida Keys. Now, this little island is just a few minutes away from Marathon, and it's full of a ton of history and natural beauty. It's a little hot out here, but we're gonna go check it out.
To find out more about why Pigeon Key is so important, let's hear from Kelly McKinnon from the Pigeon Key Foundation.
This is where Henry Flagler's guys lived, who built the overseas railway from Miami down to Key West. So from 1908 to 1912, there was about 400 workers who lived here and built the Middle Keys bridges, most notably the 7-mile bridge that crosses the island today. And it's become many things since then, including a research center for the University of Miami, until the Pigeon Key Foundation took it over in the 90s, and it's been operated under 3 pillars since then: history, education, and research. Today you can come out on our trackless train across the old 7-mile bridge, spotting turtles, dolphins, rays, all kinds of stuff. Come on down here for a guided historical tour. You can go through our museum, our gift shop, the different buildings that are on the island, still original from the Flagler era.
And Pigeon Key did not disappoint. Kelly showed me around the island, taking me to the museum, all the different houses, and even a shark feeding area. But Pigeon Key is not just about history. The island offers snorkeling and fishing opportunities that will leave you in awe. Dive beneath the surface and you'll find coral reefs, sea turtles, and a rainbow of tropical fish. I have to say, these kids were having the time of their lives here at summer camp.
So whether you love history or nature or just relaxing by the water, Pigeon Key offers such an unforgettable experience.
While we were filming this episode, we were lucky enough to stay at the Coconut Palm Inn. We heard the word oasis a lot while we were staying there, and after a few days, we completely agree.
Coconut Palm Inn is located at mile marker 92 in the Florida Keys in Tavernier, just south of Key Largo and between Key Largo and Isla Mirada on the bayside. Originally it was built by Herb Alley. Back in the 40s he built it. We got an amazing spot, spectacular, private, hidden oasis. It feels like when you're here that you're on your own little island. It's 19 rooms. We have 16 of the 19 suites have the direct view out into the Florida Bay, and they can see the spectacular sunsets as well. We have plenty of dockage for boaters. We have 2 long docks that have, between the 2, a total of 14 slips with electric, water. One of our docks has a cleaning station, so if you've gone out fishing for the day and you want to come back and flay up your fish, cook it on the grill. We have charcoal grills throughout the property, so you can cook your catch. The vibe here at the Coconut Palm Inn is come and be yourself and just enjoy being away from it all. You're 90 miles away from stress. You're here to relax in a hammock and have a nice drink along the beach. We do fire pit. You can get to make new friends every night, hanging out around the fire pit and just enjoying the day.
So next time y'all are heading out to the Keys, don't miss the Coconut Palm Inn. We sure won't. When SoFlo H2O comes back, we are living life by the bow with a Florida Keys couple that have taken over YouTube with their very popular channel. That, of course, has to do with everything on the water in the Keys.
It started with readers. Marie didn't love that she required them, but post-Panna Cotta, she was treated to QVC a la carte, where she found rose-colored glasses, along with this, and these, which gave Marie a spring to her step and to her, well, entire wardrobe. From the latest fashion finds and breakthrough brands to hosts who know the most. At QVC, we bring life to products and products to life.
Welcome back to SoFlo H2O. It is another beautiful day in the Keys. I'm really excited today because we're going to meet up with some friends of the show. They have a YouTube channel called Life by the Bow that has close to 200,000 subscribers, and they show you honestly everything to do in the Keys. So we're going to meet up with Clay Cower. He's going to give us a little tour today and maybe take us fishing. So stick with us. We started our day meeting Clay in his backyard on Tavernier Key, which is literally the Atlantic Ocean. Plus, the weather being perfect made us even more excited for what was in store.
Hey, Clay.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us out here today.
Of course, thanks for coming. Nothing beats a morning commute on the water, right?
It's amazing, and we were like driving down. The water's so great. I'm like wanting to get in it, but I know we're gonna try and do something else. So what do you have planned for us?
Yeah, so today we'll try to do just a little bit of yellowtailing. Haven't done it in a little while, so I don't know how good it's gonna be, but I feel like on a day like today, I mean, you just can't complain, you know?
Exactly.
So
what about for like a first timer?
For today?
Yes.
Man, put me on the spot right now.
If not, we're gonna figure it out as long as we go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess the biggest thing about today is just drink a lot of water, because it's hot and we're gonna be sweating, but we're gonna have a good time, so.
We're gonna hop on your boat. Is it good if I bring our producer with us?
Of course.
All right, let's go.
Clay and Stephanie Cowart host an extremely popular YouTube channel called Life by the Bow. The show features Clay and Stephanie and all of their amazing adventures through the Florida Keys, the Caribbean, and the Bahamas. All of the beautiful locations filled with marine wildlife really make Life by the Bow a must-watch YouTube channel.
Today is a day I'm really excited about because it's something that we've never done before.
The plan was to do a little yellowtail snapper fishing and then go see a landmark reef right here in the Upper Keys. Just a short boat ride from Clay's home, we were able to pick up bait, ice, and drinks, and just like that, we were headed straight out into the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. I could not believe how clear and beautiful the water is right here in the Keys. The video looks amazing, but I think this is something everyone should see in person. Clay took us to one of his yellowtail snapper spots, just a few miles offshore. The seas were flat, calm, and the tides were just right.
So what we're gonna be doing here is fishing for yellowtail snapper. Personally, this is one of my favorite things to do just because you have sight of land. Typically the water is a little prettier, but it's a little murky right now. But hey, when it's this calm, I mean, you can't really complain. We're gonna create what's called a chum ball. And so with the chum ball, we drop these down to the bottom. We'll make them into like a perfect little ball. We're gonna drop them down, and that's gonna get all those fish fired up on the bottom, in addition to all this chum that's flowing back. Then we're gonna hook a bait onto the hook, and we're gonna put the bait inside of the chum ball.
Okay.
So that's what's gonna get it down to the bottom where a lot of the bigger yellowtails live. So we're just trying to fool them.
Sounds good. This is gonna end up looking like one of those protein balls that I make at home, like the oat balls.
Hey, you're more than welcome to try it.
No, honestly.
Do you wanna do it?
Yeah.
You're kind of getting your hands ready
I
like you
wanna
want
get
to
my
do it.
hands
Go
dirty.
for it then, hey.
Ew.
So you'll notice those blocks are still a little frozen. So you gotta kind of try to crush them up in your hands there.
Oh my God, this is so gross, but so great. Okay, does your wife help with this or no?
Oh, no.
She's like
No
hands
way.
off.
She does the work smarter, not harder approach.
Right.
You know, she just comes out here and lets me do all the dirty work, and she just catches fish and looks pretty. She's smart though,
Hey,
you know?
that sounds like
hey,
the way to do it. That's all you need.
that's right.
So when it comes to y'all's channel, because I know you've had it for a while, what was kind of the basis? How did you guys kind of come and bring it together?
I had saw people being successful, you know, filming fishing and boating content on YouTube. And, you know, me having a media background, I thought I could go out and do it, but the missing ingredient was being able to know how to fish. Growing up, like, you know, I'd always gone out fishing with my dad, and he did the best that he could, but like, he was a boater, he wasn't a fisherman. I kind of gave up on it and just like really focused on our media company. And when COVID came around,
It opened up the doors a little bit.
exactly.
Okay.
Just like everybody, you know, everything kind of just got put on hold. And so basically, my wife picked up my iPhone one day and she said, hey, you've always wanted to do this YouTube thing. Right now is the time to do it. And I was like, okay, I mean, if you want to do all the work, fine, I'll just, you know, do whatever I can. And so she filmed the entire day, basically. I filmed, and then I put it all together. And I said, if I'm going to make myself vulnerable like this on YouTube, I'm going to keep on going. Just never gave up. We did a video once a week for about 3 years straight. And finally, here we are at a point where, you know, we started a clothing brand. She sells real estate. And the channel has just allowed those two things to be very successful.
Successful is an understatement. Every video the couple posts gets thousands of views. And one of the things we really love about the channel is that Clay and Stephanie try to show boaters and fishermen how to have fun, but also be safe and do things right.
So if I were to release him, he would just float. So we're gonna send him down on a descending device to send him back to the bottom, because naturally he can't do that on his own.
They're also very conservation focused, showing viewers tools and techniques to help preserve the Keys way of life and just being good stewards of the water. You can tell they love it so much.
Nice job,
Look at
Stephanie.
that boatfish. First thing in the morning.
Clay, if people want to find out more about Life by the Bow, where can they go?
They can go on YouTube and just type in search Life by the Bow, and they'll be able to watch my wife and I doing what we do down here in the Keys throughout the Bahamas. And yeah, we'd love to see everybody on there.
And their Avail product line is amazing. They create all kinds of great gear for fishing and boating. Their apparel is really made for life on the water. And girls, I have to say their women's apparel is super cute. I'm sure all of these cute colors and clothes have a little bit of Stephanie's touch. You can check them all out at availgear.com.
That's a fish.
Really?
Close it, and start reeling really slow. Lift your rod tip up, real fast, rast. Do we have them? Did we get them? I think so, yeah.
I
Reel
feel
as fast as
something.
you can. There you go, you got them. Awesome.
On the first try?
On the first try. I told you there's yellowtail
Come
here.
on, buddy.
Give me the line.
We
Nice.
did it! Oh my gosh!
He's on the smaller side, but he's legal right there. They have to be 12 inches to keep.
Oh my gosh.
Good job. Check
We
that out.
manifested it. That's so cool.
Is that your first yellowtail
Yeah,
snapper?
this is my first one.
That's so cool.
Yes!
Yeah, I got one. Nice.
Y'all, we have had a great day of fishing. We've caught a couple, maybe lost a few here and there, but all around it's been a great day. I'm so happy that Clay from Light by the Bow was able to bring us out today, because this is how they do it on the water in the Keys. So let's see what else we got in store.
Next, we are taking you to a beautiful lighthouse on the water that just happens to be on Alligator Reef. It's a must-see in the Keys, so don't worry, SoFlo H2O will be right back.
Here in Florida, every name tells a story. Just saying Ian, Nicole, or Wilma brings about strong memories. But then there's Adam and Gary. Together, their teams helped rescue over 3,500 people. And Vicky, she used her food truck to feed the community.
Thank you so much, guys.
And Andy, he flew medical aid to devastated communities. But then there's Shane, Clyde, and Robert. Together they have more than 60 years of storm experience. They stand with an FPL team of thousands, ready to respond. So as the next storm approaches, just know we're prepared. Here in Florida, every name tells a story, and every name is important. Because together, we can weather any storm.
You know what? We were super close. We decided to take a little detour to a very popular spot. So let's check out Alligator Reef.
Welcome to Alligator Reef. At only about 4 miles offshore, it's a short boat ride and completely worth it. Alligator Reef is part of Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary, which means you can't anchor your boat on the reef. There are mooring buoys placed for mooring your boat close to the reef. However, you can fix your anchor to the sandy bottom that's right by the reef. Now, if you think this reef and lighthouse used to warn mariners is beautiful from these aerial shots, just wait till you see what's under the surface. This protection status is why Alligator Reef is teeming with the wildlife that we are now all able to enjoy. So just make sure when you visit the Keys, Alligator Reef is on your schedule.
Remember, if you want to see any of our past episodes, you can always go to our YouTube channel. And if you guys want to share some of your fun experiences in the water, just send it to our Instagram, SoFloH2O Shows.
If you want to stay up to date with all of our adventures on the water, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms by scanning the QR code right there on your screen.
It's hard to believe how a 1-hour drive south can completely change your outlook, but that's exactly what happens here in the Florida Keys. We've learned a little history and made some new friends along the way as we celebrated the Keys bicentennial. We also discovered the best way to experience the Keys is with a little H2O, which just goes to show if you want to have fun in South Florida, just add water.